Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Megan. Thanks so much for watching, and I am back with an update for you guys. I know it's been a couple weeks since I last updated you, but there's been a decent amount of stuff going on, so we are going to do that today. And before I get into everything, make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so you don't miss any updates, and also go follow me over my Instagram. I know I've said it before, but I do update over on my Instagram if I'm not able to film a YouTube video, so just make sure you're following me over there so you don't miss anything. So last I updated you guys, I was like 33, 34 weeks pregnant, and I was having a little bit of swelling, and at 35 weeks when I went for my appointment, I actually saw the nurse practitioner. I wasn't thrilled about it. She didn't take really any of my concerns seriously. I was having pitting edema in my legs the night before I saw her, but basically my blood pressure was fine, so she didn't really care. And then the other thing that I didn't really like is that she didn't know that I had a unicornuate uterus, so she didn't read my chart beforehand. Anyways, at that appointment though, we did get my C-section scheduled for May 31st at 39 weeks. However, before my next appointment, actually one day before my next appointment, on Wednesday, when I was 35 weeks and 5 days, I had some dizziness at work in the afternoon. Around like 3:30 it started, kind of on and off to start out with. So I made sure like I was drinking water, I wasn't dehydrated at all. I had a snack just in case it was like my blood sugar or something, and then that didn't really help, and it just got worse and worse. Luckily I had a decent amount of cancellation, so I didn't have to see many patients, but I did have to see one from 5 to 6, and when I was seeing that patient, I was so dizzy that I was messaging my husband and saying, I think you might have to come pick me up from work. I don't think I can drive. It was pretty bad. Luckily, it was an older patient, so I didn't have to do a whole lot, and I could just like sit and chill out and say, hey, do this, this, and this. And then by 6 o'clock, I was okay enough that I could at least drive myself home. I wasn't really dizzy anymore. I just overall didn't feel good and had a little bit of a headache, but not like a terrible one, like a 1 out of 10 at most. It was not bad at all, like nothing that I would take Tylenol for. So that night I ate normally, drank normally. The next day I woke up, had still a little bit of a headache for the whole day, but I just didn't feel good. I didn't really want to eat breakfast like I normally would, and luckily the next day was my appointment in the afternoon, so I actually had to leave work a little bit early, which worked out in my favor. So I made it through the day, went to my appointment. We did a growth scan. She was growing perfectly. She's 26th percentile and weighing around 5 pounds 10 ounces, so that's a pretty decent weight. And then I told the ultrasound tech how I was feeling, and she kind of passed it along to the nurse because she was pretty concerned about how I was feeling and what I was telling her. The nurse took my blood pressure, and it was like 140/90, which is really high for me. I'm usually like 110/60. So the doctor came in, talked to me some more. He took my blood pressure, and it was even more. It was like 144/92 when he took it on the opposite arm. So he pretty much immediately sent me down to triage. Triage made me lay in a bed. They monitored me for about an hour. Of course, because I was laying down, my blood pressure went down. It wasn't great still. It was like mid 120s over mid 80s, but that's still kind of in a safer zone than the 140s. So they ended up sending me home because blood pressure went down and my blood work and everything was fine. So not thinking anything of it, I went home, drank water, ate, went to bed. When I woke up the next morning, I was super dizzy, and it was just like if I rolled from my side to my back or my back to my side, I felt like I was falling out of bed. It was pretty terrible, and I still had a headache. The headache, again, like not that bad. Like I wouldn't take Tylenol for it. However, the night before, after I got home from triage, they did recommend that I take Tylenol for my headache. I tried it. It didn't do anything. So I didn't bother taking any that morning before going to the hospital. But anyways, I ended up calling the answering service. Doctor told me that I could either come into triage immediately, or I could wait until the office opened at 8:30, and then they would see me in the office before making a decision. So either way, they wanted me to come in though. And so I had to have my husband come home from work to take me, because there was no way I could drive myself safely, especially in morning traffic. So by the time we left and were like on our way, we ended up getting there about 8:35. And when we were on our way, the office actually called me and said, do you want to be seen in the office, or are you going to go straight to triage? Luckily, by the time we got there, it would have been my appointment time anyways. So they made me an appointment for 8:45. We saw the doctor. Again, my blood pressure was up in the 140s. She also did a cervical check, and I was 1 centimeter and 50% effaced. And so she admitted me like on the spot. She was really concerned about pre-eclampsia, obviously, because I was so symptomatic with my blood pressure. And so they admitted me. We did a 24-hour urine test, and they also gave me the, I think it's betamethasone shots. So I had one of those on Friday around noon, and then I got my second one on Saturday around noon. So during all that time in the hospital, it was pretty rough on Friday especially. I was just not feeling good, and I couldn't drink anything, so then I got dehydrated, which if you're trying to do a 24-hour urine test and you are dehydrated, that's kind of difficult. So they ended up giving me fluids, one so that I could actually like do the test, but also because at one point my contractions were 2 to 5 minutes apart when they had me on the monitors, and they were getting pretty painful. So, especially like hurting into my back. That's what I noticed the most. So, they ended up discharging me on Saturday around like 1 o'clock-ish. It was after I had my second shot. They were able to discharge me because the 24-hour urine test came back with some protein, but it was less than 300, which is their cutoff for preeclampsia. So had it have been 300 or more, I probably would have had to stay in the hospital, and they probably would have done a C-section right then. But they also checked me before discharging me to make sure that I hadn't dilated or anything, and nothing had changed, so they felt confident that they could send me home on bed rest. So since last Saturday afternoon, I've been on bed rest at home. And so I did follow up with my doctor on Monday, this past Monday, and she diagnosed me with gestational hypertension, but feels like it is a better idea to go ahead and move my C-section up to 37 weeks. And this was the doctor that admitted me, and when she admitted me, she was not messing around. She pretty much said, you are not going to go home until you're probably 37 weeks. You'll probably deliver at 37 weeks. She was just very straightforward and not messing around at all, which I can definitely appreciate, because I feel like a lot of doctors don't take things seriously enough, and preeclampsia is something that can go from 0 to 60 very quickly. So when I followed up on Monday, I actually got to see that same doctor, and she still felt that it was a better idea to go ahead and move my C-section up to 37 weeks. So today I am 36 weeks and 6 days, and we are having our C-section tomorrow on Friday, the 17th. I'm excited and nervous, but I'm ready for her to be here and to be healthy and safe. And quite honestly, last weekend when I was in the hospital, I was very much okay with if they had to deliver me then, I would have been okay. Because I know 36 weekers do really well. So I'm just happy that we are making it to full term and then she will be here. So it has been a whirlwind of a week, and that's also why I look like a complete like garbage can person today. I haven't put makeup on all week, and quite honestly, I haven't even put in contacts until today. So I had plans to also film what's in my hospital bag, but it's kind of hard to do that from bed, and I can't really get out of bed without my blood pressure going up too much, or I can't really like sit up for too long without my blood pressure going up. So it's kind of annoying, but that's also another reason why we are also delivering tomorrow. So whenever you're seeing this video, I plan on it going up on tomorrow when I'm 37 weeks. It will go up the day of my C-section, and they did schedule it for initially like 7:30 in the morning, but they called me this morning and already pushed it back to 9 o'clock. So at some point tomorrow we're going to have a baby, but I'm not going to count on them being on time or on a specific schedule. So she will be here when she gets here, but we're at least going to the hospital tomorrow and we're going to have a baby. So that is going to be it for this video. Make sure you are subscribed and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. And then also go follow me over on my Instagram. We will probably post a picture or two there before I update you guys on YouTube. And I'm not 100% sure if we're going to actually bring my camera and film in the hospital or not, or what we're going to do. Our plan for our first day in the hospital tomorrow is to not have any visitors and just take that time with Sealy and figure out breastfeeding and figure out what the heck we're doing. So tomorrow we're not having any visitors, not even grandparents. We're just going to try to figure things out for ourselves and have like a low stress day, if that's even a possibility. So I'm pretty nervous about the medications and the Duramorph that's going to go in the IV, or not in the IV, in the spinal block. So that's really like what I'm mostly nervous about, is just the medication stuff. Mostly because I'm allergic to codeine, and I know they normally give you Percocet, which is codone. It's similar but different, and I just don't want to have a bad reaction. I do not want to get hives or end up throwing up from the medication. That's like my biggest worry at this point. But anyways, again, sorry, I just keep rambling on. That's going to be it for this video, guys. I will see you in the next one, and at that point, baby girl will be here.